If your company has just finalized a mergers and acquisitions deal, they have chosen a target company, they have acquired it and finalized the deal. Is it over? Shall the management say that we have done our job? No, this is completely wrong. There is a big checklist that you have to see after acquisition, post acquisition. There are many steps that you must look at after you have finalized a deal, post acquisition and integration checklist. You might say, what? My company has just finalized a deal. We have seen the target company, we have finalized the deal, we have paid for everything. What else we can do? No, it is very, very important. That stage after acquiring a company called post-acquisition and integration phase, you must lead it successfully. You must go through that stage successfully, or otherwise the whole deal will be a big failure. What are those points then that I must go through to lead that stage, post-acquisition or integration stage? In that video, I will give you a checklist, a big checklist of all points that you must go through to lead that post-acquisition or integration phase successfully. This is Sam Hillside, your business coach. Stay tuned. The first item on the list is cultural differences. Those differences in culture between the two companies, the acquired companies and the acquirer. How different are those two cultures? It is important to understand that this is very critical point. You must understand it before you accept a deal. If the cultures are too different and irreconcilable, the deal can never be a success. Cultural clashes is one of the biggest reasons mergers and acquisition do fail. We can study all of that past failed mergers and acquisition transactions. You can see that those differences in cultures, one of the main reasons why those past acquisitions failed. That's why it is very, very important to focus more on cultural clashes or cultural differences than similarities. It is more important to look at differences more than you look at similarities between the two groups or two companies. The second item on that checklist is all about contrasting management styles. It is not only that cultures might be different, management styles as well might be contrasting and different. So in any mergers and acquisition deal, you would have two different team styles, two different backgrounds. That can dilute cooperation and understanding between the two teams, right? Two management teams, two different personalities, two different way of thinking, two different backgrounds, and that can make cooperation and understanding between the two teams is a bit small or very low. And depending on the nature of the deal that you are doing, management style may or may not be a significant issue. That depends on the type or nature of deal you are doing. So in some deals, that management style difference might have a very great impact on the deal. It is also very important to assess how much different the style of the two management teams are, how they can get along and work hand in hand. Can you make it happen that they will cooperate and understand each other and work hand in hand, or you think you cannot do it? Okay, let's go now to the third item on that checklist. It is all related to layoffs and reassignments. If layoffs will be required, if you will need to terminate some staff or you will need to lay off some staff, it is required. In that case, let's say that layoffs are required, which is highly probably, as we agreed in all deals. You must start planning for those layoffs early. That will keep you well prepared to do what? To develop internal communications and answers to those staff's questions, because many staff will ask. Those staffs who have received already a notification that they will be terminated will have many questions. So if you know that you will need to do some layoffs, you must be prepared. You must have some answers for those staff. Okay? The fourth item on that checklist is all related to compensation differences. What is compensation differences and what are those benefit differences? As we agreed, we have two companies, acquired companies and acquirers, two different styles, two different benefit packages. So compensation will be differences. Compensation styles, compensation and pay styles and remuneration model will differ. Surely will be different from that company to the other company. And that can create a lot of pain if you don't plan ahead. Why? Because people will talk to each other. Staff and employees will talk to each other. They will know how much that one is getting, how much that one is getting. So that issue must be addressed. You must see what would you do with that one, because nothing can be kept as a secret for so long. You must be aware of that one. Nothing can be a secret. Nothing can be away from staff. Everyone is talking to his colleagues, his teammates and stuff. So everything will be known, right? So that one must be addressed. While some firms rely on performance-based incentive system, you might have some other firms which are paying only fixed salaries. So those two systems are too much different, right? So the most important thing here in that stage is what? Is to keep everything stable a bit. To keep everything stable at first only, but after that you must look at that difference and address it. You must look at that compensation differences and address it, and you must try to make it a bit fair. Make it a bit fair for all staff, because as we agreed, nothing will be kept as a secret. Okay, this is good. What is the next item on that checklist? The fifth item or the next item is all about job titles and positions. Okay, job titles and positions. Reconciling the way job titles are decided and designed between two uniting companies, acquiring company and acquirer, can be completely complicated. Why? Two different companies. One company might be located in Africa, one other company might be located in America. So we mean to say the chart of job titles and positions will be the same? For sure, it will be 100% different. That's why I'm telling you that reconciling those two styles of job titles might be a bit complicated. But what I think is, I believe it is better off to keep positions and titles intact in the beginning until the new combined organization is more stable, more knowing each other. Then you can review the chart of positions and titles for a better and fairer review, but not at start, not as you do that acquisition. No, you will need to have some time until that combined companies will stable. Okay. The item number 6. What is the next item on that checklist? It is all about talent retention. How you can keep the key talents after you do an acquisition. Is there anything in the deal that might trigger a loss of talents? You must think. Address any concerns early on before such a move begins, before you start losing your talents, key talents. Sometimes key staff might leave a company after mergers and acquisition deal. Why? They might think and they might say to themselves, the new management will fire me anyway, so why would I stay? So they will start thinking of leaving the company. One more point, some competitors might run after key talents after an acquisition deal. Why? Those competitors will say it is a confusion time and we can convince those key staffs and key talent to join us. So in that stage, in that point, HR departments must play a big role. Why? What they might do? They might assure key staff and key talents that You need to stay here. We have no plan. The management has no plan to lay you off. Because employees' fear is a natural part of almost any mergers and acquisition situation. And if unaddressed, if left unaddressed and unanswered, it can create significant problems along the way. So you need to prepare for that one, and you need to have some answer for those questions, and you need to keep your HR team involved. The seventh and last item on that checklist is all about recruiting. You must ask yourself a very important question. Are there any roles you will need to hire right away? And if you have some roles that will need to be hired anyway, what is the budget for that? How much I can pay for that one? So those ones as well must be addressed, because we said that we might have some layoffs. So in order to fill in and fill up those vacant positions, you must hire some new people. You must do some recruiting. So you must ask yourself, will I need to hire and recruit some staff? And if yes, what is the budget? Does I have any budget for recruiting or not? Answering those questions will help you so much in that stage. Well, that wraps up the post-acquisition integration checklist. I'm Sam Hithait. Thank you so much for watching me.